Are you struggling to develop your executive presence as a tech leader? Well, as a technologist, you're probably very good at handling code, software, machines, and tech. However, you seem to have some trouble cracking the code when it comes to executive presence. If that is so, stay with me in this video because I'm going to introduce you to two aspects relating to developing executive presence, the four reasons why you seem to have struggled with developing your executive presence, and last but not the least, share various tools and techniques through which you can develop your executive presence. Make sure you stay till the end of the video because that's where I'm going to share free access to tools that can help you develop this executive presence that you're so desiring for yourself. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video that can help you become a better leader both personally and professionally. Hi, my name is Ajitha and welcome to my YouTube channel. With over 20 plus years of corporate technology experience as an executive leader and now a certified full spectrum leadership coach strategist, I have trained, coached, and mentored thousands of leaders, professionals, both as entrepreneurs and who are employed in various organizations to become the epic leaders that they were born to be. I'm super excited to be sharing my knowledge and wisdom and my experience through this YouTube channel with every single one of you to help you become the epic leader that you're born to be. So you are someone who is well regarded, you are a subject matter expert, you know your stuff, you're good with technology, but for some reason you seem to have struggled developing your executive presence. Let's start with two aspects of developing your executive presence. Well, the word executive presence has two words, executive and presence. Let's break this down. The executive aspect is what I term as the outer changes or aspects that need to be addressed for you to have the executive presence that you're looking to develop. What are those outer aspects? For example, your appearance, your communication skills, your subject matter expertise, the ability and the skill with which you understand your audience when you are present amongst them. Okay. So this, in a composite way, I call this your doingness. Whereas the presence, which is the second word in the executive presence aspect, is that which is inside of you, the inner beingness that you exude as an energy, as a presence, as a charisma or the gravitas that allows for that executive aspect to be fully present in a space and allows for you to become magnetic in the space that you are in amongst the audience that you are in. So these are two very critical aspects. The second aspect of presence is what I call the beingness. And traditionally and typically, if you look at anyone that is talking about executive presence, usually the emphasis mostly is on the outer aspects of you being an executive, which means, are you showing up well dressed? Is your appearance all groomed and well done? And do you know what you're talking about? Do you know your subject? And so on and so forth. In this video, I'm going to actually deep dive into both aspects, and we're going to go even deeper into the one aspect that is very rarely addressed on a deeper level, which is the presence aspect. So let's talk about the outer executive presence first. Number one is your appearance. It is how you present yourself visually. This is a lot about, are you feeling comfortable and not feeling like you're an outlier in the mix of people that you are amongst, whether it's your executive team or in the presence of others, of your peers, an executive team. How do you show up in your physical appearance? Are you well groomed? Are you making sure that your body odor factor is taken care of? Are you able to make sure that you are showing up well groomed, spick and span, right? That aspect of it. Why this is important is because how we dress and how we show up has a direct impact on how well we are able to feel confident on the inside. Just make sure that you are wearing an outfit that you feel comfortable in, that you feel like you're belonging and blending into the environment, or even if you decide to wear a completely flashy, different kind of an outfit amongst people, as long as you feel confident and you feel good about who you are in that outfit, kudos, you got that factor taken care of. Okay. The next aspect in the executive aspect of the outer presence is the subject matter. This is not something you develop overnight, right? It's something you establish over a period of time, that your peers and your colleagues and the organizational ecosystem that you're in, people see you as someone who understands their subject matter, who looked at as an authority or an expert, and you get solicited for inputs and ideas and decisions and so on. So that, I'm assuming, that is something you will have already worked on. If you're watching this video, that's something you got it all figured. The third element of your executive aspect of communication: how well are you able to articulate that which you are looking to communicate with the people that you're communicating with, whether they are your team members, whether they are your peers, or they are your executive team? Are you able to be straight to the point, address the what, the so what, and the now what aspects? Now, if you don't know what that is, let me quickly break it down for you. When we are communicating with anybody, we're going to have to start with what is it that we want them to do. You answer the so what question, which is equivalent to why are we asking you to do it, or why do we need to do this as a team, right? That's the so what. And then comes the now what. Now what is, what is the action you're asking for them to take? Any communication, if you structure it in the what, so what, and the now what structure, it is so much easier for the person who's receiving the information to get clarity in the communication that they're receiving from you. Okay, so that if you haven't figured the structure and framework, please make sure you incorporate it into your communication moving forward, whether it is with your team or whether it is with your peers or with your executives. Okay, so that's your communication skill. It's essentially, are you able to articulate the message that you're looking to articulate? Are you able to stick to the succinctness of the message and not go all over the place, beating around the bush, belaboring, and kind of losing track? And I know a lot of clients of mine, they have come to me to help them with these aspects, as well as to really help them stay to the point. So that's communication skill aspect of the outer executive presence. Then comes knowing your audience. Like, if you are going to be making a presentation or if you're communicating, do you know what's in it for them? Do you know what their needs are? Do you know what they're looking from you for? Because if they don't know what's in it for them, and if you don't know what's in it for them, you miss that in your communication, in your interactions with them, then it's very unlikely to have that effect that you're looking to have as an executive in that ecosystem. So to recap, the executive aspect of the executive presence is: number one, your appearance; number two, your subject matter expertise; and number three, your communication skill; and number four is how well do you know your audience or the people that you're working with. Okay. Now, before we move forward to the second aspect of the executive presence, let's talk about for a minute. Let's have you pause and reflect on the four aspects that I talked to you about, the four elements that I talked to you about. Which one do you feel you have a gap in? Do you need to improve your communication skills? Do you need to become more mindful of your physical appearance? Do you need to know more about your audience, or do you need to develop more subject matter expertise? Where is the gap that you find right now for yourself in the four elements of executive piece of the executive presence? Typically, what I have found is that most people know where the gap is, and something prevents them from taking action. That segues to our second aspect of the executive presence topic, which is the presence. Presence, as I described, is the gravitas, is the charisma, is the intangible element in the executive presence that you find amongst people. When they walk into the room, something shifts. They don't have to say a word, and people start to move in a particular way or do certain things. We all have experienced people like that. Okay, this is the presence aspect that I am talking about. And this, my friends, is really a inner aspect of executive presence. Okay, it's who you are. It's deep-seated aspects of what your beliefs are, your thoughts are, your energy, your identity that you carry, right? That composite becomes your presence. And it is felt energetically. It's typically felt, sometimes seen, of course, but it's very deeply felt. And since it's a felt sense and not a logical, rational aspect, that's why it is intangible. It's hard to describe it, put it into words. You can tell I'm struggling to even explain it, right? Anyways, so here the presence aspect is what is running in your inner operating system as a leader. When I talk about inner operating system, I'm referring to your subconscious mind, the part that governs 93% of our reality and how we show up and what we see in our external world is governed by our subconscious mind. So in your inner operating system, aka your subconscious mind, your thoughts, beliefs, and narratives and stories that are running are essentially determining how confident, how magnetic, how charismatic, how much gravitas you have when you walk into a room. Okay, that is what I talk about as the energetic presence of you as a leader that leads to that deep impact in your environment amongst others. Now let's take a look at the components of the pillars, right? The four components of the inner operating system are emotional operating system, which is where all your energy in motion, which is emotion, is energy in motion. Your emotions either stored, that are unprocessed or processed, that whole aspect stays and functions and leads you as a leader. The P stands for physical operating system, which is your physical body, and the composite of what you feel, think, and believe is manifesting into your physical body, into your physical reality. That's your physical operating system. I stands for the intellectual operating system, which is your thoughts and beliefs. And last but not the least, consciousness operating system is the energy, the identity that you carry as a leader. Let me take you through an exercise to figure where likely is the presence aspect of you probably stuck, and where you are unaware that there's a possibility of a block and hence an opportunity to shift. I want you to take a moment, and if you're driving, please pause the video and come back to it when you have a moment to take care of this exercise. If you are not driving and you are able to do this exercise, able to close your eyes, I would have you start there with your eyes closed. Take a moment and close your eyes. And take one deep breath in and out, one deep breath and out. This just allows for you to be centered and present through this exercise. And then I want you to state this out loud to yourself. I am a tech leader with charismatic executive presence. Now, if you're not a tech leader and you're watching this video, no worries, just replace that word and say, I am a leader with charismatic executive presence. Either one is fine. Now, as you say this statement, I want you to pay attention to a few things. First, as you say the statement, I am a tech leader with a charismatic executive presence, notice what is going on in your body and say it as many times as you need to notice these elements, right? What is going on in your body? Is there an area that feels tight or constricted as you say this statement? I'm giving you a few minutes of silence to tune in to get an answer to it. And if you do find an area that is constricted or tight in your body as you say the statement, just make a note of it. And then, number two, what is the emotion it is bringing up for you? When you say this statement, I am a tech leader with a charismatic executive presence. When you say this statement, is there an emotion that is coming up for you? Is there a fear or a denial or a ridiculousness that's coming up as an emotion? Tune in. And then when you're ready, is there a mental chatter or a thought that's coming up as you say that statement? You're faking it. Oh no, you're not an executive. You're not a leader. You have no presence. Is there any such chatter coming up? Mental chatter. Make a note of it. And then when you're done making a note of what has come up for you in your body or as emotions or as thoughts, you can open your eyes. And then we're going to do the last step, which is ask this question to yourself. Who do I believe I am currently with respect to my profession? I'll say that again. Who do I believe I am currently with respect to my profession? For example, if it may be I am a software engineer, I am a technical program manager, or I am, if you're an entrepreneur watching this, you probably are saying, I am a entrepreneur, I am a founder, I am a CEO, right? These are all I am statements. So I want you to ask this question, who do I believe I am currently with respect to my job role or my profession? The reason this question is important is because this is going to help us uncover your identity statement as it stands right now. For example, if your identity statement is I'm a senior director, right, in your operating system, let's say the senior director position is not an executive position. Let's say in your organization, an executive position is actually a managing director. Okay, let's play with this. And you are having an identity statement, which is I'm a senior director. So in your operating system, which is your subconscious mind where the beliefs and programs are stored, a senior director is not an executive position. So when you say the statement, I am a tech leader with a charismatic executive presence, your current role as an identity that I am a senior director is not in alignment with who you believe an executive is. Okay? An executive is someone who's a managing director, but I am not a managing director. I am a senior director. That's your current identity statement. Now, you see, that is a direct conflict of identity and also what you believe is true for who can be an executive. And hence, in order for me to have executive presence, I need to be an executive first. So I can't really embody executive presence because in my operating system, I'm not yet an executive because in my organization, only managing directors are executives, but I am a senior director. You see where I'm going with this? This is the layers of convoluted if then else loops that we get into. And as a technology leader, I am a techie. I was a techie and I'm still a techie. With 20 plus years of corporate technology experience, I have gone through enough if then else loops outside in the software programs that I've dealt with, but also more internally in my own operating system. And all I'm trying to do with this process of diagnostic unraveling of your inner operating system really is to help you find which operating system component is glitching for you. That's essentially what I'm talking about for us to uncover and unravel. Yeah, what we have just done is a troubleshooting process to uncover which component in your inner operating system is glitching. Is it the emotional operating system? Is it the intellectual? Is it the physical? Or is it the consciousness? And these four questions are essentially helping you unravel where exactly is the block or the glitch. Let's say by saying I am a tech leader with a charismatic executive presence, when I say that, I'm actually feeling a tight constriction in my chest. Okay, that's a clear emotional signal from my inner operating system. That signal is telling me there's something that I don't believe or resonate or connect with on that statement. There's a disconnect with that statement. So I don't feel that's true for me. You see? And since I don't feel it's true for me, I can't fully embody it. You only get to embody that which you truly believe is possible and real for you. The beauty of inner operating system is that it does not know the difference between reality and imagination. All we did right now was take you into a space where you imagined that possibility that you're so badly desiring to have. I want to have executive presence. I want to have that magnetic presence. I want to have that charisma that I see with these leaders. That desire that you have, we just momentarily took you into the place of identifying with that very emotion, very energy, and that feeling, and made you say that statement I am a tech leader with a charismatic executive presence. That statement was allowing for you to bring the energy of that identity into your space. And when you said it, you couldn't fully embody it if you felt tightness anywhere in your body, if there was a strong emotion of fear or ridiculousness or impossibility, like, there was a strong emotion triggered as a result, or there was a mental chatter about it being, oh, you're just faking it. It's not true. That's a mental chatter or an identity that couldn't connect with that executive presence, right? Any of these four disconnects in the inner operating system is not going to allow for you to fully embody the executive presence. The job for us as leaders is to uncover where in my inner operating system do I have a block in any format that is preventing me from this embodiment. That is where the real work is. Regardless of where the origin of the problem is, we can help unblock that particular challenge using a process. Okay. So, first of all, if this process of diagnostic troubleshooting helped you in uncovering where your block is, please hit the like button and leave a comment for me. I want to hear from you. Which operating system really stood out through this exercise for you? And that will be your gateway into really shifting into full executive presence. So please let me know which operating system is causing the problem for you to embody that executive presence, and let me know that in the comments. I'll give you an example. Here is the case with one of my clients who was experiencing issues with executive presence. When we when I was working with her as a client, and when she came to me, she said, Ajitha, I have a real challenge. I know my stuff. I'm pretty aware of my appearance. I've worked on making sure that I feel confident because of my appearance. I'm not letting that come in the way. I know my audience. I know my people. And I also, I'm pretty good at communicating. I'm a speaker. I've spoken in conferences. Communication is not a challenge for me, but something seems to be holding me back from having that real powerful presence with my executive team. Okay, this was her problem statement. So I went through the same process with her, and what we uncovered was this. Emotionally, she felt isolated from her executive team. The emotional operating system was really calling out and saying isolation. I feel isolated. I don't feel like I'm part of that team. I feel like I'm an outsider, right? The feeling aspect, the emotion was speaking out pretty loudly. And then intellectually, she did not feel like she belonged with the team. So her intellectual program was, I do not belong in my executive team. And then the consciousness operating system was screaming out loud saying, I am an outcast. That's I am statement, identity statement. It was screaming out saying, I'm an outcast and I don't feel like I belong and I don't think I belong. I don't feel, I don't think I belong, and hence I'm an outcast. So it was no wonder for me that she had issues exuding executive presence because she was not feeling the presence of her fullness, her wholeness in that team because of these inner operating system programs. Once I understood and helped her unravel and uncover these things, it was then easy for us to reprogram her inner operating system, starting with identity and thereby also shifting her intellectual operating system programs and then releasing the emotions that were stuck in her operating system. So we moved her from I am an outcast to I'm an executive leader who belongs in my executive team. The belonging was the energy that was missing in her equation. The minute we downloaded, I'm going to use the technical term, the minute we downloaded and overrode the program, I'm an outcast with I belong in my executive team, the minute we overrode that program and that identity, things started to shift. It's been magical to see her transformation through this process. And by answering the 4 questions that I asked you in this video on the 4 operating system components, you identify what is blocking you in your inner operating system that's holding back on your full executive presence. So now that you know what is potentially blocking your ability to embody your executive presence as a leader, you can shift whatever that block is using my free Epic Leadership Operating System Starter Toolkit. It's a free mini course that addresses all the 4 operating systems and the shifts required through exercises and videos that are available to you for free. The link to that toolkit is in the description box below. However, if you're ready to make that change quickly with my help, you're welcome to book a call with me. The link to book the call is also in the description box. If this video resonated for you and you benefited out of the information from here and potentially the transformation through the free offering of the Epic Leadership Operating System Toolkit, then you are most likely going to benefit from the detailed video that I have on how to reprogram your mind for success. You can find that video right here and take a look, and happy learning.